So yesterday, during the Q&A session that we did, somebody asked me why I've never really spoken about George Carlin. And I mentioned that I love George Carlin, so I have no bias against him. It's not like I dislike him. I actually love him. He's great. And I think he's one of the smartest comedians ever. I think he's one of the greatest comedians ever. And I think we've done maybe one or two segments on him in the past. I think the reason why people think I didn't cover him is because I'm not sure if any of those segments actually made it onto YouTube. But I figured I might as well do a throwback segment here, and we'll cover a classic Carlin clip where he discusses American bullshit.
You do know, living in this country, you know that every time you're exposed to advertising, you realize once again that America's leading industry, America's most profitable business is still the manufacture, packaging, distribution, and marketing of bullshit. High quality, grade A, prime cut, pure American bullshit. And the sad part is, most people seem indoctrinated to believe that bullshit only comes from certain places, certain sources. Advertising, politics, salesmen, not true. Bullshit is everywhere. Bullshit is rampant. Parents are full of shit, teachers are full of shit, clergymen are full of shit, and law enforcement people are full of shit. This entire country is completely full of shit, and always has been. From the Declaration of Independence to the Constitution to the Star-Spangled Banner, it's really nothing more than one big steaming pile of red, white, and blue all-American bullshit. Because think of how we started. Think of that. This country was founded by a group of slave owners who told us all men are created equal. Oh yeah, all men, except for Indians and niggers and women, right? Always like to use that authentic American language. This was a small group of unelected white male land-holding slave owners who also suggested their class be the only one allowed to vote. Now that is what's known as being stunningly and embarrassingly full of shit.
I like to think that I have a pretty good bullshit meter or bullshit detector. And like when I spoke with Jimmy Dore recently, I said to him, you too, you have a probably even better than me, a great bullshit detector. But the kings of having the best bullshit detector, George Carlin, Bill Hicks, by far and away. And when you hear stuff like that, you go, oh, we're going to miss that wit. Because, I mean, that point he made at the end is perfect. Where he's like, oh, yeah, everybody's, oh, this country's so great and so special in every way. It's so perfect. Yeah, but wait a second. That's just not true. I mean, we did the Native American genocide. You know, we had slavery. We had Jim Crow. We had segregation. Women didn't have the right to vote. Yeah, everybody's created equal except black people and women and Native Americans. And, oh, only land-owning white men are going to be allowed to vote. Tell me again how we believe in equality and justice and freedom, and it was a perfect country from its inception. And that's not to say everything about it is bad, but let's acknowledge reality. I mean, for fuck's sake, the idolizing and the worship of the founding fathers as if they did nothing wrong ever. For fuck's sake, these are guys that wore powdered wigs and shit in outhouses. They're so special they couldn't figure out modern plumbing yet. They couldn't figure out slavery was wrong from the beginning. So yes, in many ways they were smart, but in many ways they were insanely stupid. In many ways, the dumbest person today is smarter than the smartest person back then. And George Carlin had a way of pointing that out and saying, stop it with the worship, here's the problem. And the only area where I disagree with him here is, and I mentioned this the other day too, I do think George Carlin is maybe a little bit more of a revolutionary than I am, and he might be a little further left than I am. I always try to stress that I'm an international moderate. I'm a centrist on the world stage. It's just in the U.S. I'm a progressive because our spectrum is so insanely far right-wing. So when he says, like, everybody, everything, all the institutions are bullshit, like, for what I say about the American people, I don't think they're all full of shit. A lot of them are, but I have this silly theory about the American people. I say they're politically schizophrenic. And what does that mean? Well, that means they're 100% right on so many things, but also 100% wrong on so many things. So, for example, when you go issue by issue, political issue by issue, according to the polls, the American people are pretty good. They're not masochists. That's the best way to put it. In other words, 93% of them want a universal background check. That's smart. That's the right policy. 60% want to ban high-capacity magazines and assault weapons. That's smart. That's the right policy. 80% want to raise the minimum wage. That's smart. That's the right policy. A majority want Medicare for all. That's smart. That's the right policy. Over 60% want to increase taxes on the rich. That's smart. That's the right policy. The overwhelming majority are non-interventionists when it comes to foreign policy. That's smart. That's the right policy. A majority want to act on global warming. That's smart. That's the right policy. Only 17% want to still be in Afghanistan. That's smart. That's the right policy for the majority that say, let's get the fuck out of there. And you could go issue by issue. The American people are right, and they're actually progressive, okay? So that part of them is not bullshit. They actually agree with you, George Carlin, on a lot of things, right? It's just that what George is mad at, and he's right to be mad at, is the other aspect of them. How, I forget, some crazy number, can't name what the Bill of Rights is, okay? You have 76% of the country describes themselves as Christian, over, 80% is religious in one way or another, and they have goofy metaphysical beliefs. A lot of them believe in ghosts, a lot of them believe in UFOs and shit. So that's why I say politically schizophrenic. On some things, they're dead on and they're brilliant, and on other things, they're just mind-numbingly stupid. So I guess in that respect, I'm a little bit more moderate than George Carlin. But either way, the guy is brilliant, and I'm going to miss his mind dearly.